Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome back to the e-learning portal of Citywide Model College, Ibadan. This is second lesson for week 5 for Social Studies Js2, presented by Adirogba. And the topic for today is the importance of generalizations and concepts. A conclusion of the topic we treated last. This the topics we've been treating for some lessons now are subtopics under social studies content. I have explained to you what social studies content is, and we have also looked at concepts. We have also looked at generalization. So today we want to look at the importance of generalizations and concepts. Before we continue, let's briefly revise some major things on the lessons we had before. I told you that social studies is a social science and it draws its content from other social sciences and humanities, and I gave examples of social sciences. Social sciences are those subjects that study human behavior. I also told you that social studies content, when we talk about social studies content, we are talking about those values, those concepts, those knowledge that are in social studies that students acquire from the study of social studies. That is, those knowledge, values, ideas, concepts that we expect students to learn, to acquire in social studies are the social studies content. And we also looked at the various types of social studies content. And I told you that social studies content develops the three main domains of learning: the cognitive, affective, and psychomotive domains. Then we looked at concepts. I told you concept refers to ideas, generalized ideas or ideals. What we think things supposed to be like. The ideals. The idea that we have about certain things is concept. The idea we have about certain events or certain people or group of things is referred to as concepts. And I told you that social studies concepts are those ideas that we have that are backed by facts, by evidences. So those concepts that relate to learners are social studies concepts. And I told you social studies concepts are not just mere ideas. They are ideas, they are thoughts, they are experiences that are backed by what? By facts, by evidences. Okay. And then at the last class, we looked at generalization. I told you generalization refers to drawing conclusion, or simply means drawing conclusions or arriving at certain principles based on facts that we have about certain concepts. I told you also that generalizations are summary statements that we arrive at from facts we have gathered from certain concepts. I also told you that generalizations relate concepts together. It relates one concept to another. And we also looked at various types of concepts of generalizations. Then I cited numerous examples of social studies generalizations that we can have in social studies. I told you generalizations are summary statements. They are conclusions we arrive at. They are principles or laws that we arrive at. There are predictions based on facts that we have gathered. Okay, so inshallah we shall continue and then round up we'll round off generalizations, and we'll round off generalization and concepts. I'll move to the next subtopic under social content, which is fact. So let's start by looking at the importance of generalizations and concepts. Since we all know what generalizations and concepts mean, we can then uh, look at the importance. Why do we need concepts and generalizations in social studies? What is the relevance of concepts and generalizations in social studies content? Okay, let's go. Number one, concepts and generalizations are used in selecting and organizing social studies content. Social studies content are the concepts, the generalizations, the knowledge, the value, the skills, the ideas that are contained in social studies that relate to learners. Social studies contents are the concepts, the values, the generalizations, the knowledge, the ideas that are contained in social studies, those that relate to what? To the students. Those things, simply put, as those things that we want the students to learn. The skills, the values they want the students to acquire. The concepts and generalizations we want the students to acquire and imbibe. They are the content of social studies or social studies content. Okay? So, concepts and generalizations are used in selecting and organizing social studies content. So, concepts and generalizations are part of social studies content. So, with concepts and generalizations, we can make selection and organize social studies content. Are you there? Okay. The second importance of generalizations and concepts is that they help us to grasp with realities of our environments, fostering a better understanding of our environment. With concepts and generalizations, we have a better understanding of our environment. We are we are exposed to realities of our environment. We have a better understanding of our surroundings, our environment. So concepts and generalizations help us to grasp with realities of our environment, thereby making it making it possible for us to understand our environment better. Concepts are useful for the amplification and application of facts. Concepts are useful for the what? Application of facts. We use concepts to apply facts. We use concepts to apply facts into our daily life experiences, into our daily life decision making and activities. So concepts are useful for the amplification and application of facts. Attributes are features, knowledge from situation or locality, from situation or locality to another in social studies. So we use concepts to apply facts, attributes or knowledge. We use it to apply it to one situation, apply it from one situation to the other. I hope what I'm saying is clear to you. That is, when we have problems in our locality, we can use concepts to apply some knowledge that are embedded in a particular principle or in a particular conclusion. You can use concept to apply it to our locality in social studies, lessons. For instance, if there's a particular value that we want the students to learn. For instance, there's a particular value that we want some students to learn. We can use some concepts, some generalizations of some certain people to teach that value. We can use the generalization or conclusion or ideas of other people to actually solve that problem, or to actually help students to acquire that particular value. For instance, the example I cited there about cooperation among nations being a tool for stability of the economy. So far, somebody has come up with that generalization or that principle. We can also apply it here. Or maybe we're talking about truthfulness as a virtue, for instance. Truthfulness as a virtue. So when we want students or learners, or you students wanted to acquire that particular virtue, we can employ some concepts to teach that value to you. Some generalizations of some people based on the facts that they've gathered can be used to what? To help you acquire those values. Generalization enables students to understand the relationship between two or more concepts. Generalization enable you to understand the relationship that exists between two or more concepts. Like the example I cited then, that cooperation is necessary or is essential for economies to what? For the world economy to what? To be stable. So that has established the relationship that exists between cooperation on one side and what? Stability of economy on another side. So generalization helps students or pupils to understand the relationship that exists between two concepts. Concepts and generalizations help to build theories for social studies. Concepts and generalizations help to build theories for social studies. So we can relate some concepts together. We can use generalizations to develop social studies theories. Don't forget, generalizations are summary statements based on facts that we have. They are summary statements based on the facts that we have about certain concepts. So since we have since these concepts have been proven uh, to be genuine, we can use them to arrive at our theories. For instance, uh, like that example I cited earlier that I've been referring to, the example on cooperation. So if that generalization, definitely that generalization is based on fact. It means it has been proven that cooperation is an ingredient. Cooperation is necessary. Cooperation is what we need for progress, for economy to grow, for economy to be stable. So from that, we can derive our theories in social studies based on that. We can derive theories that relate to cooperation. We can come up with generalizations on cooperation. We can then state that, for example, let's say a theory now on in social studies, we can state that cooperation is essential. We can even state that cooperation is essential for peaceful living. Cooperation is essential for us to be able to live to able to live together, or for us to be able to um, work together as a group, as a team in the class. Are you there? So generalizations and concepts help us to build theories for social studies. Before we move to facts, let's briefly look at what we have discussed today. We have looked at the importance of generalizations and concepts. And number one importance of generalization and concept is that we it helps us to select and organize social studies contents. It helps us to pick and organize the things that will be the content of social studies. It helps us to select the right concepts, right generalizations, right ideas that we put together as the content of social studies. I hope my point is clear. So concept and generalization help us to what? To select and organize social studies content, those things that are contained, that will be learned in social studies. Are you there? So we can pick some concepts, some generalizations, put together so many concepts and generalizations, ideas, values together to form the content of social studies. So concept and generalization help us to select and organize social studies content. Two, concepts and generalizations helps us to grasp with realities of our environments. So we're able to understand our environment better with the concepts and generalizations. Concepts and generalizations helps us to be able to apply facts, knowledge from one situation to another. We're able to apply facts, knowledge, attributes from one situation to another. That is, uh, probably a generalization made on certain concept, we can apply it in another situation. You can use it to solve some other problems. You can use it to acquire certain values. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. For instance, from a particular generalization, we have discovered that cooperation is essential for progress, for stability. So if I want to treat a concept that has to do with stability, for instance, we know that one of the concepts that we'll be thinking of is what? Is cooperation. Are you with me? So concepts and generalizations helps us to what? They help us to what? To apply certain attributes, knowledge from one situation to another. Another importance of generalization and concepts is that generalization enables students or pupils to understand the relationship between two or more concepts. Since generalization shows relationship between two or more concepts, it shows the relationship between them. It shows the cause and effect of the concepts. So generalization shows the relationship between two or more concepts, how they are related, how one will affect the other, and so on. Then generalization and concepts help us to build theories for social studies. You can put together some concepts to arrive at our theories in social studies. You can put together some different concepts. You can relate them together to arrive at our theories in social studies. So those are the importance of concepts and generalizations in social studies. So inshallah, today, before we end the class, I'll briefly introduce fact to you. What is fact? A fact is a statement of truth that can be what? Verified. A fact is a statement of truth that can be verified. It is something that actually exists or existed, objects or events, and can be verified by observation. So something you can observe, and from your observation, you yourself, you can see that it is true. Something that can be verified. When somebody comes up with a statement, when someone comes up with a generalization, and you can test it, you can verify it, and it is actually true, then it is a fact. So if somebody comes with some concepts and arrives at some generalization from the concepts, and we cannot verify the fact, then such is not, and we cannot verify those concepts or that generalization to be true, then it is not a fact. So a fact is something that has existed, we have seen it happen. A fact is something that is actually existing, that is happening. You can see it with our eyes that it is really happening. It is a fact. A fact is something that has happened before. We have information about it, that it has happened, or we experienced it, we were there when it happened, we observed it, or we were not there, but when we got the information, we tried to verify it, and it was like that. Probably somebody told us that whenever, maybe we've not witnessed it before, but someone told us that whenever it is cloudy in a particular part of the sky, when it is cloudy in a particular part of the sky, it definitely rains. It becomes a fact when we observe it, that anytime it's cloudy at that particular part of the sky, it rains truly. Then it becomes a fact, because we have verified it. So any thing, any events, any objects, any idea that can be verified is a fact. Something that has been verified to be true is a fact. Or something that we have observed ourselves, and we find out that it is true, is a fact. So a fact is a statement that supports concepts. A fact is a statement that supports concepts and generalizations. As I've said earlier, when people come up with generalizations, these generalizations, we must be able to verify them, and and they must be true based on our verification. So a generalization, a statement becomes a statement or generalization must be backed by what? By fact. A summary statement or generalization, a generalization must be what? Backed by fact. That is, a generalization is a statement that we can test, and when we test it, it must be true based on what the person that uttered such statement said. I hope my point is clear. Several facts may actually be needed to provide enough evidences to create a generalization. That is, before we can arrive at a generalization, we may need more than one fact. We may need so many evidences, so many facts to back up our statements for it to be accepted as what? A generalization. I hope my point is clear. So let's go back to look at what we have treated today. We have looked at facts as statements of truths that can be verified. And I also told you that facts are used to back up Facts are used to back up our generalizations and concepts. So when we think that something's supposed to be like this, that is a concept. There should be facts to back it up, that is the ideal. There should be facts to back it up that yes, it is supposed to be like that. When we come up with generalizations, that probably a summary statement of cause and effect, that whenever this thing happens, this is what follows it, this is the effect it has, then such generalizations must be verifiable. So we need facts to back up our generalizations. So this is where we are going to stop today, inshallah. Till we meet again, may Allah continue to protect us. May He spare our life till and beyond. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.